Good morning, good day, hello to you. Welcome to Hug Nation Live. I'm John Halcyon, here to be present with you, to share some gratitude. You might be watching this recording actually, and we can still be present with one another because we are present in an intention. Hug Nation is not a place. It is a shared vibration. It's not bound by physical location. It's not bound by time. So if you are here, you are joining us, whether you are listening to it in the future or currently. If you're currently listening, then as you share your gratitudes as comments, I can read them aloud and share with everyone else who is here live. What are you grateful for? I want to hear. I'm feeling filled with gratitude today. It is a gorgeous day here in San Diego. We got rain the last few days, but it's sunny. And so the plants are just like, woo! It is like carnival for my rooted friends in the canyon and the garden. Levertini says, grateful for you and your effort. Always enjoyed your space. Thank you. What a great thing to hear. I really appreciate that. Been talking and thinking lately about how effective it can be just to try to align with the person that you want to be on a daily basis. And that doesn't even have to look like anything. It doesn't mean you do something spectacular. I cleaned up all the trash in the parking lot. Great. That's awesome. That's certainly a good task. But rather than evaluating and judging your life based on tasks, evaluate your life based on intention and characters. What are the attributes and energies and attitudes that you bring to the moments of your day, so that whatever you do during those moments is of service, is activism. Lisa says, I'm grateful for sticking to certain boundaries I have set for myself. It's a slow process, but the wheels are now moving at least. Boy, oh boy, boundaries. Depending on how you were raised and your disposition, boundaries and learning to set boundaries and hold boundaries and do so from a place of calm and peace is one of the most important things you can learn. Because if you can establish clear, calm boundaries, you can control or protect yourself without getting into anger and frustration. You say, I am happy to talk to you on the phone, but until you demonstrate to me that you can keep a calm voice, I'm unable to meet with you in person. Or email only until you build up my trust and demonstrate that you can use kind words. I'm not angry at you. I don't hate you. I just realize your capacity is making you operate on a level that is unacceptable to me. So rather than be angry at you, I'm going to explain to you what my requirements are. If you can't handle those requirements, it's okay. I might be sad. I might grieve the loss of the relationship that we had, but I'm not angry. Lisa says, I'm an empath and people pleaser, so boundaries for myself are difficult. Definitely a process. Yeah. Recovering people pleaser as well. And part of that process is really unlearning the pieces of you that feel responsible for other people's feelings and reactions. Because often those reactions, those feelings, those upset is a subconsciously taught tactic to get their way. If I'm afraid that if I tell my friend that I don't want them stopping by my house, and if I'm afraid if I tell them that they'll be hurt and angry and have shame about that, so I don't say it because I don't want to hurt their feelings, it's like, well, then I've incurred the cost. And you have no idea if the negative experience, I'll say negative, the difficult, the challenging experience that they will go through is not critical for their growth and evolution. Juan says, the other day I paid for groceries that a person could not afford. As they were walking away from the store, I put the groceries in their wagon that she was pulling without her knowing. Oh, Juan, I sure love you, man. I love your heart. And that is kind of the ideal example of what I refer to and talk about when you are being a part of this practice and priming your mind to be kind and gifting and of service, then an opportunity like that pops up and you go, whoom, okay, it's yay, I have the opportunity. Otherwise, the situation comes up and you go, oh, wait, and they're in their car and driven away before you go, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to pay for their stuff. 3 cheers for you, Juan. Thank you for sharing that. Sarah is grateful to return home to a letter from you with an invite for January's gathering and my sweet letter I wrote to myself from your retreat. During last year's Love Ambassador meetup, which this year is happening January 10th, 11th, last year, one of the things we did was we wrote a letter to ourselves. And then I said I would send it to you. And so I sent it last week to the participants. I did not read them. That was part of the agreement. I wonder, do I have mine nearby? Yeah, I'm going to read mine. Dear John, I want to have faith in myself, to remember how much evidence I receive that I am doing a good job. I am making a difference. Keep falling into that place of, I am a good man. If that is true, then I am solid. Gentle masculinity. I can say, I don't know. I need help. I'm scared. But I know I am a human, really big, doing a damn good job. Sharing that is equal to healing for others. I love you, John. I'm proud of you, John. Sarah says, thank you for all you bring to the world. I would say the same to you and to everyone who can hear my voice right now. If you can hear my voice, whether this is live or recording, I know a few things about you. One, I know you're a human being. You were raised by other human beings. You incurred a series of large and or small traumas that were the result of you not getting the ideal, perfect parenting and having all your needs met and all the correct boundaries and all the stuff. And you have been receiving layer upon layer of socialization that has defined a worldview and a reality and a political stance and a cultural stance, has made you feel like you're parts of some groups and not parts of other groups, has made you feel shame about parts of yourself, has made you be in judgment of others and yourself. All of these things I know about you because you're a human. All of that, plus the fact that you're here now listening to me, you've chosen to sit down to share gratitude, to listen to gratitude, to be a part of a Love Ambassador morning meetup, to be a part of Hug Nation. I know that you're part of the wave, the momentum towards love and compassion. And I know that you are working on your own stuff, trying to clear out the stuff that is in the way of the love that flows through you. And I know that you are, by being you, making the world a better place. And I know that sometimes it's really hard because this world is not set up to celebrate and make it easy for those of us that have made that decision and recognize the significant effects of our peace and our purpose to be committed to personal growth and service in the world. So at whatever level you're doing that, even if the only way that you feel the capacity you have is for self-care and resting, I'm so grateful and so appreciative of you. So grateful that through these incredible technologies, we've been able to find one another and amplify these heart vibrations of one another, these heart songs. One person singing a heart song in a windy day, you can't even hear them. But a crowd of people singing, now we got a choir, now we got harmony, and that harmony spreads. So thank you. Heineng says, 5 words I need to remind myself. I am trying my best. That's one of the core philosophical beliefs that I hold, that, I think that's one of those binary things. Are you a person that thinks that everybody is doing the best they can? Or are you a person that thinks some people could be doing better? I'm of the mind everyone is doing the best they can. Because even if they make a decision not to go to therapy, and you say, well, they could be doing better. Yes, they could. But whatever has happened before that to them, whatever biological and ancestral and cultural things that have impacted them, their minds has too much fear or judgment around the path of making things better for them. So not growing, not trying to be better is the best they can do in that moment. Now, those moments change. And each of us, someday the best we can do is pretty incredible. Some days the best we can do is because we are so in our shit, in our triggers, in our bad patterns, that the best we can do is destructive. But I believe we always, without fail, we are always doing the best we can in that moment. Christina says, what if they're littering? That's one of the toughest ones for me to say they're doing their best they can. Imagine that you were raised and your parents were always throwing things out the window. And your dad, every time he threw something out the window, he said, there's people whose job it is to pick that up. Or he said, this world is going to be destroyed in a nuclear war soon anyways. Or whatever it is. And so you have all these beliefs that even though you think, littering's not great, but it doesn't matter. Or corporations litter so much that my little littering, it doesn't even make a scratch. So why should I inconvenience myself when my actions literally don't matter? And so that worldview and perspective informs the best they can do. And the best they can do is not care and not believe it matters. That's the basis that they are operating from. Now, hopefully, someday they learn better and then they do better. There was a time in my life when I had a crate of single-use water bottles delivered to my house every month because it helped me to drink more water. And then I learned that, this is actually a terrible practice for the environment. So now, I've been using reusable water bottles forever. But my point is, you can't put yourself into the experiences and mindset of someone else. Another example, when I was in college, I spent a week in Bali as part of this study program. So this was 91 or 92, 1991. And I was blown away with how much litter was on the ground. And not tourists, locals would just throw stuff into the streams. Because they had a culture where that plastic and things, these were new concepts. So they really didn't have a strong sense of the consequences of littering. They're doing the best they could. Didn't even see it as a problematic thing. It is a good reminder because, boy, oh boy, as humans, we're judgmental. It's the way we're wired. We judge, we dislike, we have preferences. And all of that, it's just an exercise in suffering. If you are upset because someone else's behavior, if you're being upset because someone is littering, you've got a few choices. You can yell at that person and hope that makes them afraid to do it again because they don't want to be like to feel the anger of others, you can peacefully say, hello, dear friend. I have such a connection to this earth, and it pains me when I see litter and trash getting into our water supply and the ground soil. And would you consider making a more effort into putting those things into a trash can? I would so appreciate it. Have a beautiful day. And the third option is, and you can be in combined with the other ones, is, why am I so bothered by this? Can I forgive this person? Can I figure out what in myself is being stimulated and instigated by this other person's behavior? Are there aspects of my own lack of care for the environment that I have not forgiven? And so when I see people doing a thing like that, I subconsciously am attacking them because I still have judgment for myself. You know, as you are attacking and anger at someone who litters, and you write about it on your phone, that the very creation of involved all sorts of bad effects on the planet. It's like, but you can work on yourself. You can work on your thoughts and your actions. Anytime that you have judgment and preferences, it's an opportunity to work on yourself, practice boundaries. Gerbot, in reference to my litter strategy, says, all better strategies than my go-to, just calling them an a-hole. I'm glad you said that, because it certainly is tempting to punish people, to use shame as an attempt to govern and enforce. And that can be effective. However, what often happens is when you attack someone, you set the stage and you say, hey, we are against each other in this topic that I'm about to start. And so once you know that the other person's the enemy, then whatever they're telling you, don't litter, asshole, you're like, fuck you. And I'm gonna throw this all on the ground. The goal becomes fighting instead of resolution. Anytime you are fighting or you feel like you have a conflict, see if you can reframe it to, instead of me versus them, reframe it to me and them versus a problem. Everybody is way more invited to be a helpful part of a team. They're invited. If you give someone the opportunity to give, the opportunity to be the hero, say, oh, you know what? My daughter's over there watching you. Would you mind taking that trash and throwing it in the trash can so she can see an example of someone being awesome in the world? Now, if that person says, fuck you, well, then you tell your daughter, unfortunately, some people are really hurting inside and they lash out in all sorts of ways. And we have to learn to keep our distance. It's like some animals. You don't pet snakes that have rattles. And some people, you know, they will expose their rattles to you sometime. And you just got to find a boundary, create a boundary. I often see, like on Nextdoor, people complain so much about that people who don't clean up their dog poop. And I agree. Not cleaning up your dog poop is very high on my list of terrible sins. It's not as high as using someone's good heart against them to deceive them or to scam them. Like, oh, my daughter, we broke down and my daughter's in the hospital. Could I get $5 for gas? That's not a true story. And now you're making me close my heart. I want to be able to keep showing compassion. It's like at the top of my list of sins. Not cleaning up dog poop is up there. But if you are angry about it, you need to decide what's the cost of being in a state of anger. And actually, if I go and clean up the poop that's in my yard, while I don't like it and I shouldn't, and it's unfair, will it result in a life that is free of poop and allow me to be at peace? Well, that sounds like a better use of energy. I need a practice to remember that the world is filled with awesome people. And there's so many things to be grateful for. Because if instead I go, What does the internet say today? Oh my gosh, people are angry and mean and terrible. And wow, everyone's selfish and greedy and ay, ay, ay. And then your mind has got, okay, I got tons of content to just stew on and build upon this crafted narrative that keeps us in a state of fear, of otherness, of anger. You have to actively choose where you place your focus. You actively look for gratitude, pay attention to it, write it down, share it so that those things, the good things, fill out your worldview. So that, sure, there are things in the world that are terrible and there are things that are amazing. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. The easiest way to make your life better, to make yourself happier, is to spend time paying attention to what's good in your life, to notice what you're taking for granted and bring it from beneath the conscious surface into awareness. I have running water. I have a parent that's still alive. I have 5 working digits on each hand. I still have one shoulder that works well. And if you're watching this recording, thanks for sticking with us. Your energy counts because Hug Nation does not occur in a specific time or a specific location. It is an energy, an awareness that we come together and bring, which you can do if you're not here. If you're on the road or, in line or at work at 9:00 and you can't be here for this live broadcast, you can just remember, oh, Hug Nation is going on. Let me think of some gratitude. Let me remember that there's cool people out there that are in gratitude right now. And that will help me remember that this world is a lot more amazing than I was starting to fall into believing. And with that, wherever you are, I'm going to make an ask of you. Even if you're in the office, you can do it subtly. Just kind of slowly give yourself a little hug and see if anyone notices. But if you can, give yourself a big hug and embrace the body you're in. Just give a slight kind of wow awareness to this thing that has been breathing on its own, the heart that's been beating on its own. It's been digesting food and giving you energy and fighting off all sorts of bacteria and integrating other bacteria and so that it works in your gut. Like this, it's incredible. Your consciousness is functioning within one of the most unfathomably complex and miraculous things that exists in the universe. And amongst the things that it allows us to experience, physical sensations, feelings of love, joy, and the other side of all those things, the struggle, the suffering, pain, to give us contrast so that we don't fall into a null of just like, this is baseline, whatever. Man, you get sick for a week. Then a week after that, oh God, does it feel good to be well. So let's be grateful to be in a body. Let's be grateful that we have the tools to connect and be reminded that we're not alone. Let's be grateful that we have our voices, that we have people who will listen to us. Even if this is the only place that you feel safe, you have a place where you can speak your truth. You can practice your authenticity. You can practice noticing the good things in your life without somebody going, oh, somebody's stuck up. No, let's share the wins. I want to hear. Toot your own horn. This is a horn tooting space. So thanks for being a part of it and encouraging us and inspiring each other and inspiring me to know that this world is filled with people who would rather hug you than hurt you. Let's take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for being here for Hug Nation Live. Go to lifestudent.com for links to all my good stuff, except for the Love Ambassador Meetup January 10th and 11th, which still has a few spots. It's in San Diego. It's going to be like this vibe, except like 20 times more awesome. And then we're going to go dancing together afterwards. I love you.
The surefire way to lift your attitude is to come together and share gratitude. Hug Nation. Hug Nation.